morning, South Florida, and welcome to the breakfast at the Brooklyn Cafe TV.
Take a deep breath and a good whiff of that coffee brewing. Grab yourself some toast, a donut, or any breakfast as Dawn and Freddie get you up and ready for the rest of the day.
So call in at 888-565-1470 to share a tip of the day.
Or just to say good morning. Shake off your sleepies, buckle in, because it's showtime.
And it's back, baby. My bell is back. Welcome to the morning show.
We're going to entertain the whole community this morning.
The cafe morning, yes, because you got all the bay doors open. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing out
That's
there?
over there. What's going on? Forget about it. I was watching a movie yesterday that I've been trying to watch for 5 times.
What was it?
Dubois something or another. It's Al Pacino, something from the 80s or 90s that he made.
Yeah.
And I love Al Pacino. I got to meet the little man, and we had words. But anyway, Al Pacino happens to be one of my favorite actors, even though I think he's crazy. And I can never watch this movie because something always happens. The first time, the internet went out and came back, and the movie. The second time, we were watching it. I don't know what happened. We got up. I couldn't find it. The third time, I thought it was on demand. I should just tape it, right?
You should just record it, yeah.
Duh. So I'm watching it, and at the end, this movie starts getting good, and Linda hits the remote control by accident.
Oh, no. You
And
lost
it changed the channel, and I lost it.
You didn't know what channel it was on?
No, I knew a channel, but I was watching it delayed because I like to zip through the parts that I already seen. But I was getting to the end, out.
Oh, no.
So last night I'm watching it, and Linda says to me, "When am I watching this again?" And I said, "Nyeh." So I had to.
You didn't watch it?
No.
You still didn't watch it?
No. It's just ridiculousness. I'm going to tell you, the world is a turning ridiculousness.
Totally
We have gotten
crazy.
to a point, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Good morning to all
Yes,
of us
good
that are
morning
watching.
to all of you.
We are getting to a point that insanity is becoming the new norm. Doing stupid things becomes the new norm. This is why I tell you, you see? And you don't listen to me. You don't listen to the big dog.
Always.
We don't learn from our mistakes.
Right.
We just create them in another way and think that we're outsmarting the game. I always had a saying. Remember the saying? Don't ever get bigger than the game.
Yes?
Okay. You watch what's going to happen because people just don't listen. Don't listen. Okay? You got people fighting each other over stimulus checks that don't exist. You got people wanting to go to work when there is no work to be worked at. So you open a restaurant. Congratulations. Let me open up XYZ restaurant. Ain't nobody going to go in there. Are you going to go to a restaurant?
Nope. I'm not
Tell
going
you going to go to a restaurant?
I'm not going to a movie theater either.
Oh, let's all go to the movie theater. Yes, free popcorn.
A sporting event? No.
And let's go give some high fives here and watch the Marlins get defeated again and again and again.
You know what I think? I think I had to get my other wand. I'll do it at commercial break.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Then I'll have to walk near you, so.
But anyway, besides that.
Happy
it's-
Wednesday to you. It is Wednesday again at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. We've got a great morning show lined up.
Yes,
We've got Kristen Corpian
which-
joining us,
That's why I'm lining this whole thing up.
an attorney from Miami, yes?
Yes, because I got my pens, I got my questions, I got my gears grinded. I got lots of questions for her.
Corp Law, C-O-R-P Law, so she's going to be joining us. Oh, it's only 9:02. We got a few more minutes then.
Yes.
That was a quick intro there. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, what is happening tomorrow? Big news.
What's happening?
Thursday night, 7:30. The 2-minute warning. The first episode of the Brooklyn Cafe Show special edition, kicking off the 2-minute warning with Benny Blades. And then they will be doing the 2-minute warning Thursday nights at 7:30 on WWNN following tomorrow night's show. Kicking off football season, tomorrow night is the draft.
Breaking news. Because now you're in my domain. Did you hear about the greatest trade made yesterday
No,
in the
tell me.
history of the NFL?
Sure.
You didn't hear it?
No.
You remember Gronk, the tight end from the New England Patriots? Probably one of the best tight ends, except for Mr. Gonzalez from Kansas City, that ever played this game. He was huge. There was no answer for him. You could put 2, 3 guys on this guy. He's going to catch the ball and beat you. They had to break his arm to get him out of the NFL because then they got infected and another operation. And I guess he didn't like playing under the Belichick regime. Anyway, long story short, he goes and he becomes a wrestler in the WWF. Yeah, he's throwing people around. I mean, this guy is huge. And his brother and his father and him are the funniest team on the circuit. And they're making money, hands over fist. But it's not even about money anymore, right? He has 5 Super Bowl rings, whatever he got.
I didn't even know he still played.
He didn't.
I think
He
so.
hasn't.
That's what I
But
thought.
this is the breaking
traded
news.
him? He's playing again?
They traded him to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because Mr. Brady, and I only call him Mr. The only guy in the NFL I will call Mr. Brady is Mr. Brady, wanted him on the team because Tampa's all in, baby. I'm going to tell you something. Tampa wants to win the Super Bowl.
What's he been doing?
I just told you, he was a wrestler in the NFL. He was an analysis on ESPN. He's been doing everything but playing the game
That's what I'm saying.
for, I think, 2 years now.
And, he's
And they
coming back.
traded his rights because if he came back to play, he had to go to New England.
How can you? Why? Because he's a free agent. So suddenly.
No, he's
you
not a
can-
free agent.
So how does he get traded if he hasn't been
Tampa
playing?
Bay traded him. New England traded him for a number 4 pick in tomorrow's draft. This is why I'm bringing it up, because tomorrow, it's already started. Now, Benny has said to me, Freddie, watch what happens. This is, and listen, I don't know, Ben, I just met Benny, but he knows the inside track. He says, you haven't seen crazy yet, he tells me. Now, he said something was going to happen. It happened. This morning they made the announcement, right? He says something's happening with the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Don't think that Cleveland's not going to trade that pick. I think Cleveland's going to trade it for 4 picks. Okay? There's another rumor where the Jets are thinking of trading Jamal Adams for 4 picks. Probably one of the greatest safeties in the game. And Ronnie Lott and this kid got nothing to separate them. These kids are good, and I wanted to talk to Benny about this. Half hour ain't going to do it.
I know. It's not going to do. And he's got 2 guests.
Half hour just ain't going to happen.
I know.
Now, is there going to be an after? Are we going to keep rolling for the after?
We can talk to them if you want to.
Well, it also depends because I need somebody to run that board. I need Teddy
Teddy's
to run
gonna
that
run it
board.
for us.
And the funny thing about this draft tomorrow is that this
Teddy
is,
is the one person that is still employed under this whole thing.
and she's eating peppers early in the morning. You know something? That might be a good idea.
Peppers?
Peppers in the morning.
But you are allergic to peppers.
I know, but it keeps everything away,
Including you.
including me. Don't have to worry about a mask here. But the NFL tomorrow, it has started, it has kicked off. And all of a sudden, there's wildfire going on. They also started playing baseball in South Korea to no stands again, and in Japan to no stands. The problem we're having is that these countries are a couple of weeks ahead of us because we lag behind. And all of a sudden, Georgia governor decides to open everything up
That's just stupid.
tomorrow.
That's just stupid. Sorry.
And then they want to open the beaches here. You know something, ladies and gentlemen? If you want to go to the beach, go.
Let me ask you a question, though. The beaches are vast.
Yeah, I know. Here we go. Here
Why
here
can't-
comes the logic in the illogical.
It's not. I'm just wondering, why can't people go and stay 10 feet apart?
Why not? Why is it that we have an epidemic when they tell people to stay apart and everybody got sick?
Well, they go to Publix.
Oh,
That's a
they
whole
go to
other story.
Publix. They go here. They go there. Yeah, there was a guy that I think they arrested him and threw him in the parking lot at Walmart when I went there the first time, and he sneezed.
Yeah.
He had no mask and none. I went to Home Depot yesterday. You know what? Home Depot. They make you wait online. If you don't have a mask, you don't come in. Okay? And when you go in there, there are people throughout the store watching. And when you check out, they put them behind glass now. It is an unbelievable deal.
They're clicking people in too. You can only have so many people.
Oh, so,
Walmart, the guy was clicking. I said, what number am I? He says, you're 400. I don't know how many you're letting in. 600? I don't know.
I'm just wondering when I can get my nails done again. They can put a plastic
Go to
thing
Georgia.
between.
Hair salons opening up today.
Well, I'm thinking if you put a plastic shield between you and your nail tech, why can't you get your nails done?
This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is that we think we can outgain the game.
I'm not
We are
outgaining
being
the
bigger than the
game,
game.
but how are we
Dawn,
going to open up businesses
you know
again?
what? You go to Walmart, you buy plastic nails, and you stick them on.
I tried that. It's
Okay?
not-
They look fabulous. I'm sorry. You're in isolation. Who the hell are you going to impress?
I know. But it's, it's just what it looks like underneath. Yes, I know it's the vanity. I'm just saying, when are other businesses going to be open up? Everyone's doing their hair. You know what? I think Chelsea and I did a pretty decent job on my hair. Not so bad, right?
Not so bad.
You sat here with me, 6 weeks ago, and I ordered the hair color. It took 2 weeks to come in. 2 weeks ago, we colored it. It has been a process. I'm ready to reorder the hair color. Everyone's in the same boat, except you.
I don't have to worry about my hair.
I know, or your nails.
Now,
or your makeup.
I have my own set of concerns. I have to work at the radio station tonight.
Yeah.
I got to go in tonight, and I gear up, and I sanitize the room, and I lock myself in the corner. But I got to do it because there's no other way of doing that show.
But let's just put it out there. You are in your own room at the radio station.
No,
I know
not
you're in
this
that
one.
other room.
Not this time. This time it's all about buckling up, holding your breath for 2 hours, if that'll work. And I'm just as guilty as the next guy, and that will mean that I will be taking my temperature and everything else and being careful and doing the best I can. It isn't, in my opinion, it's not even about the distancing. That's a given. It's not even about the beaches. That's a given. It's about walking into a bad situation. So if you got a room full of people coughing and you walk in that room, you think you're going to be okay? Probably not. Probably not. So it's about circumstances. You know?
You know what, though? I want to take our minds off of this.
Okay.
When was the last time you were on an airplane? This one travels all the time.
I'm not going. That's another thing. Open up the planes. You know what? All the people that want to go back to work, I'm going to personally pay
But
for you to go on a plane.
I don't even mean the situation
Go on
we're
a
in
plane.
now.
Go.
Whenever you're on a plane in general.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is really just the same thing, just with a different name. What's it called? You can only dress the penguin so many times.
Wait a minute. On a plane, you may catch a cold. This thing will kill you.
This one got
Now,
probably
this
who
one,
knows what.
This one, I want to. There's a test. I want her to take the test.
The antibody test.
She
I
may
know.
be the cure to the problem.
Can you
in
imagine
her
if you're
blood.
the walking cure?
Pretty cool.
I know.
Now
That
we need more
antibody test
testing.
has to
Everybody
come
wants
out.
testing. I want more testing. Please, more testing.
Let me ask you a hypothetical question. Would you get tested for COVID if you had no symptoms?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's the right freaking thing to do.
If someone said today,
Yes. Take a vein. Which vein you want? What finger you want? Doing. I don't give a. Listen, they can stick it in my ear.
why would you get tested if you're asymptomatic?
Why? Because I don't know what that means. Neither do you, and neither does the expert in Washington. Nobody knows anything about this disease. And the worst thing about thinking about a virus that you can outsmart
What
it,
did you eat this morning?
it isn't that. Everybody should be tested. We have 368 million Americans. What do we got in this country? 368 million? There should be 368 million tests. Punto. Okay? Because I don't know what this magic pill is going to do tomorrow. What if all of a sudden this thing becomes, you can't find it? And then all of a sudden it gets worse. And then all of a sudden you go from turning the country off to destroying. Have you ever read The Rise and Fall of the Great Roman Republic?
No.
It was disease that killed the republic because everybody thought they were free and they had rights. Ain't nobody infringing on your rights.
So you would take the test, would you?
Absolutely. Well, you wouldn't because you're a freaking rebel without a cause, right? Because it's your constitutional right to say no.
No, I didn't say I wouldn't. I just wanted to have the conversation and ask you if you would and why.
Okay, and would you? Would you?
Sure.
Sure. Let me sure.
I got nothing to lose.
Oh, you want something to gain? You want me to pay you to take it?
No.
So what is the question?
Would you be tested if you were asymptomatic?
I would be tested not only once, not only twice. I'll be tested 3 times if you want me to.
You probably need 3 times, by the way.
I would be testing for diabetics. I would be testing for asthmatics. I would be testing for age. I
You
would
know,
be testing.
Linda Summers posted, because she came back negative. But that's because by the time she got tested, she was negative.
There's no such thing.
Absolutely.
She would have tested positive if she was positive.
No, you convert to negative.
That's not true. It's a false
100%.
reading.
So maybe you got a false
But there you
reading.
have the problem, Dawn. Nobody freaking knows. Why do we have to outsmart the virus? Why do I have to turn on the news and hear about the history of 30 days? Let us walk down memory lane. Why do I need that for?
Funniest thing was that meme you just sent, and we cannot air it.
Jojo, thank you very much. I am going to air that at the end for 5 seconds. I'm going to air that meme because they found the culprit to the virus.
That was hilarious. And I was reading it, and then after you read it, then you look down at the picture, and all you can do is laugh because it is so funny.
They found the bat.
They found the bat.
Now, did you see that Scripps is holding a meeting on Friday for 400 people. I don't know if it's BS, but I applied to listen. They think that they have found a way in.
A way into what?
That's all they're saying
Okay.
about the virus. And it has to do with a disease that was destroying this country at one time, and they went in backwards. And they think that they found a way past, because the virus has a protective shield. We talked about this. Has a protective shield, and you have to sort of disintegrate that shield to get to it. So I will have some news for you on Friday, whether it's BS or not. I don't know. Nobody knows. You don't know. You don't know. The president doesn't know. Even Mr. Fucci, is that his name?
Fauci.
Fauci? He don't know either. Nobody knows. Everybody's using logic in an illogical situation. They just want to save lives. When you got 48,000 people dying of anything, you try to save lives. Remember the numbers that we're talking about?
Yeah.
250,000? And then they said, oh, no, it's 140,000. Hey, listen, because you guys are doing such a great job, it's only 60,000. So now they're at 48,000. So what does the news media want to do? It's probably more. They want to pump up the numbers.
The news media is not my friend right now, is all I can tell you.
But
So
the
what did
news-
I do? I'm going to
You turned it off.
I turned it off.
That's right.
I'm going to turn it off.
Turn it off.
We're going to, you know what I watched last night? Songland.
What the hell is that?
Remember the song Despacito?
Yes.
You know who sings it?
Yes.
He was on.
Oh, he what?
Yes.
He did a movie too?
No, it's a TV show, Songland. So these unsigned artists that come up with songs and lyrics, and they're songwriters, they go and they audition for whoever the star is of the show of the week, and they try to see which song they would pick for them, and they rewrite them and they
And what
redo
song was
them.
one? What song won?
Sway.
Sway is a song?
Really? It's already out?
Oh, I was thinking Michael Bublé's Sway.
Oh no, this is Sway, and it was really cool. But
Well,
I
this is
didn't
a
realize.
non-signed artist.
He-
You know, we
and
thought
now he
about this
becomes
4
signed.
years ago.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. And Louis Fonsi, I didn't realize he was Puerto Rican, but you know that song just went crazy. And
Who's
they never,
Puerto Rican?
Louis Fonsi.
Oh, he's Puerto Rican?
That's what I was told.
Who told you that?
No, he's not. Is he Cuban?
Who told you that?
What is he? Where is he from?
I have no idea.
Other than Miami.
I think he's a mobster from Miami.
So anyway, no, he's Hispanic. But anyway, it's a good show if you want to ever just turn off the news. Find those shows that make you laugh. Find those shows that actually calm down your nerves. Turn off the news. Don't read the newspaper. Have some fun, because you know what? Life is going on.
It is. Now, the latest craze,
You're like a TV set. I go, eh.
the latest craze,
Uh-huh.
somebody sent me a text, is the coronavirus game of Twister.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
How do you do that?
Two people play at the same time.
Uh-huh.
You have two Twister boards.
Okay.
Separate from one another.
That's really funny. I thought you were going to say you put like a Corona beer on each different
No,
color and you do
no.
a shot. That
Just
could be
two,
fun.
two separate boards.
That's really funny.
Isn't that the best?
Yes, that's a good idea, actually.
Oh, and I got another piece of news. Andrea from Promo Stuff For You sent me a promotion they're doing for $19, a sign for graduation. So let's say you have little Billy who's not going to graduating class, even though if you see some of the things that are going on, some of the artists are actually jumping in and singing songs for classes, and they have like a Zoom or whatever, and everybody's on there. I don't know how many they could fit in there, but whatever. The latest is this sign thing. So she saw somebody who held up a sign for my son graduation, Joe, blah, 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 one-sided, and Andrea, who does the signs, went up to the lady and said, excuse me, where did you get the sign? She told him how much did you pay for it, and it was an outrageous amount of money. You talk about
Gouging.
gas gouging and stuff. We're talking about sign gouging. So Andrea wanted me to pass along that she got upset. So for $19, not only will they print both sides of the banner, they would deliver it and put it on your lawn
Oh,
for
that's really cool.
$19, which is really cheap. She is so furious right now that people are charging outrageous money for doing this. And again, this is illogical in a logical situation. Let's just act stupid.
So yesterday was my son's last day of classes.
He's done?
Well, he's got finals and he's got papers, but classes
Oh, he just
are over.
started. He's just starting in the game. He's still got to take his law
He's
stats,
still got to
right?
take the
Yeah,
bar if and when it even happens. So that's a whole nother level.
I'll give him a
of-
bar.
That's all.
We should just approve everybody.
That might be happening.
We should just do that. Everybody now can become an attorney.
That might
And
be
if you want to
happening.
be a doctor, you know what? Come in here and I will grace you and I will make you a doctor. I mean, what the hell? Why not?
Let's go to commercial break. When we come back, let's talk to Kristen Corpian of Corp Law. She comes to us through video and her Miami office. So let's take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
The benefits of CBD are well known, but not all CBD is equal. At your CBD store, our award-winning products are made from organic industrial hemp. Your CBD store products are third-party tested for purity, and we offer a wide variety of products to meet your needs and preferences. From water solubles, topical creams and oil drops, to pet products. Visit your CBD store and let our knowledgeable staff guide you. Your CBD store.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
Does your business MobiPop? A new way to grow your business. Using a simple keyword, drive customers right to you with just a click. Customers will receive your personalized digital business card within seconds, with all your contact information in one place, including a gallery of photos, videos, and clear call to action that drives sales. Promote your products and services, or share a hot new listing with custom event pages and RSVP form, boosting qualified leads. Special offers and promotions are directly sent to your potential customers' phones with text campaigns, increasing foot traffic and creating a loyal following. Let MobiPop drive your marketing campaign. Focus on your business. Let MobiPop focus on growing it.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You got to use two hands on this one now. It ain't that easy as the other stuff.
It's funny because we've been running everything. We just keep the mics open, cameras on, and we just roll and hope that everything is muted on the other side. But welcome back to our wonderful Wednesday at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Yes, we are trying to get back to some sense of normalcy. The bay door is open, letting some fresh
Normalcy.
air in. And
Laura Castillo, just get the solution. Go on Facebook. Everybody's an expert.
I got to tell you, here's the yin and the yang of what we do. We use social media to grow our business and to promote other people's businesses and to share everything we do. But sometimes you go on social media, you don't want to see what's on the other side of social media. So it's a two-sided sword, right?
It is, because sometimes you're misled with the wrong information and you think it's the right information. I got to admit, though, I busted my toilet flapper broke.
Yes.
And I bought the wrong flapper. I went to Walmart for 35 minutes.
That's
and
not the clapper, that'd be the flapper.
the flapper. And I bought the wrong one.
Yes.
I didn't know they came in 2 and 3 inches.
Okay.
So I went on Google and says, why did I buy the wrong flapper? And Google told me, because it's a 3-inch flapper, not a 2, so I had to go get it. So you can get anything. You can almost get anything you want on Google and YouTube and Facebook. It's the most scariest thing. Now, that the information is correct is something else.
Well, we do have someone that has the correct information, and she's joining us from Miami. We've got Kristen Corpian of Corp Law joining us, and she has the correct information of all of the questions that you want to ask her, Freddie.
Yes, I'm going to get my pen.
And there she is.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Kristen.
Good morning, Don and Freddie. How are you?
We're great.
Very concerned, Kristen. I am very concerned. I cannot understand the logic of what's going on, and we're going to get to the segment in a second, but the PPP ran out of money, and I want to talk about that. Harvard University, did you hear what happened with Harvard?
You know, you gotta stop watching the news.
No. This is a true fact. They got the $10 million or whatever, the 10,000, I don't know what it is. They got something with a 10. And the president asked them to give it back because they got a $41 million endowment, the day before. So Harvard doesn't want to give it back because they say this is going towards 100% towards children. But then you have other companies, Ruth Christie, other companies. I mean, when they drew this thing up, they just wanted to get it out. Nobody really thought about the consequences of this. And the money dried up, and none of the smaller businesses got any, and the Senate just approved something that's going forward. Is it going to be the same mess? And I want to start there. Is it going to be the same mess that we just had 2 weeks ago?
So there's going to be a lot of the same mess, yes, unfortunately. And to compound it, a lot of folks that originally submitted applications, to the extent there's additional guidance from the SBA or the lenders are processing these applications differently, may have to reapply and may have to start the entire process over. So I think it is going to still be a little bit of a mess, but I really do hope that that additional funding is approved, and the anticipation is that it will be. Because I know a lot of small businesses need this help to the extent that they can get it, and larger companies aren't taking it from them.
That's the biggest concern. So what keeps America growing is the small business and the trickle down. And to me, this is a big situation of the haves and the have-nots. Those that have and those that have the attorneys and those that have the accountants and their bookkeepers and all of these things, when as soon as that hit, they were processed, they were first in line. For others that do a lot of the bookkeeping on your own, such as me, you do your own bookkeeping, right? You give your accountant the information once a year and they do your taxes. You got to compile all this and do everything. And then we got extended in 2019, so taxes didn't have to go in last week, but yet you needed the 2019 returns to apply for these PPP. So you're stuck in this catch-22 if you're a small mom and pop business doing these things. Can you help people like this?
So what my firm has been doing is providing information as much as we possibly can. And, it's a big deal for me. I think that I mentioned this last time on the show. I can't remember if I did or if I didn't, but that people understand the difference between a primary source, which is the actual law. So the end of March, we had the CARES Act, which was signed into law. And that's over 900 pages. And obviously, most people don't want to read, that much text. But if you aren't going to read it and you're going to rely on secondary sources, then you've got to make sure that you're getting information from somebody who is trustworthy. And I think that a lot of folks were relying on the wrong information. And I heard things said like, I'm guaranteed to get, $10,000 advance. The CARES Act provided for two specific buckets that we hear about most often. It did a lot of other things, but the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL, EIDL, and the PPP, Paycheck Protection Program. The EIDL was the one with the $10,000 advance where, it was up to $10,000. And I think the soundbite that was taken from that is I'm guaranteed to get $10K if I spend 10 minutes filling out a loan through the SBA website, which really isn't what happened. So yes, firms like myself, I think local accounting firms really stepped up. I sat in on multiple webinars that were being offered by accountants for free at no charge, where the goal was just educating people about how you should apply, what's going to be the best option for you, and if you are ineligible for either of those two options, then what? What are some strategies that we can take to help get you money and get your business moving forward?
Okay, so you help people establish and get this thing done.
Okay, so we help our clients understand the loan, and I think it's a good question because there was a lot of scams around folks being charged to submit this loan. We are not charging our clients to submit a loan for them. That's not our function. What we're doing, the application is deceptively simple, but it's something that, for the EIDL in any event, you could do yourself. So what the CARES Act provided for the PPP in particular, was for agents, attorneys, accountants, consultants to be paid a 1% agent fee if they help someone submit this loan. So there was a big uptick when that first came out of folks positioning themselves as being willing to help with submitting these loans in hopes of getting that agent fee. But what we saw play out was the lenders got hip to that. And in most of the applications for the lenders for the PPP, it actually specifically says we're not going to pay any 1% agent fee. So that didn't really take off. If you hear about those fees, it's allowed for under the law, and it's not taken out of the amount of the PPP that you would receive. So maybe there was something to that. But the other thing that we saw is folks charging $5,000, $10,000, just thousands of dollars to individuals to help them submit these applications. And there, unless there is some unique expertise that I don't know about or some very unique way that this particular service is adding value to you, I would be very hesitant to pay thousands of dollars to have someone help you submit one of these documents. Here, from the legal end, we're helping our clients evaluate what's going to happen after you get these loans, especially for the PPP, in terms of forgiveness. And that's a different component of the analysis, I think, because once you get the loan, it's a matter of, for the 8 weeks after that, there's certain uses that are permissible under the law that would be forgiven. So essentially sounds like free money. And then folks are trying to wrap their heads around this still because we really haven't seen what these forgiveness applications are going to look like. And that's far down the line.
Now, Christian, not for nothing, but if you take the number 10,000, 1% of that is $100, right?
Yeah, but this was for the PPP loan, and some of our clients have received that loan upwards of $750,000 loan.
Okay,
so,
and $750,000 is $7,500. I need to tell you something. I mean, I'm no mathematician, okay? But if you're going to tell me that I'm going to pay someone 1% and they're going to help me get $750,000, okay, so you end up with 600 and whatever, the numbers still make sense because, 0 plus 1 still equals 1. I mean, you got something to fight with.
Yes.
So why the $5,000 people charging that stuff is outrageous. That's just
It's
highway
because the
robbery.
small businesses aren't getting it.
But there's no money to be got.
There was.
It was dried up in a week.
Yeah,
I didn't even get to go on the website and
But
it
look
was
at the
gone.
millions that we're giving out to these big corporations. Of those millions, how many small businesses do you think could have been served?
Well, do you hear the latest and greatest is the government is saying that they saved 40 million jobs. That's what they saved. 40 million jobs. Do you believe that?
I don't know, Kristen, is that a thing?
At this point, I've heard so many different statistics that it's hard to keep track of who's counting. But I think it's definitely the case that, better positioned companies, tends to be larger companies that are better financed, we're
I really
better
think
prepared to
They're
navigate
able
this
to.
process.
Statistics are being changed for no matter what you want. You can find a study that's going to give you any statistic you want if you skew the study. You can put out any information you want to support what you want to support. But this isn't what we're doing. What we're doing is offering a law firm that can help people understand. And even the idle, right? Everyone says 10 minutes. And the first thing you read on this form is it'll take you 2.5 hours. So you fill it out to the best of your knowledge. You click the little question marks and think it's going to give you an explanation of what that means, and it doesn't. So you're totally flying blindly on, it says gross income. It doesn't say adjusted gross income on the idle.
Well, let's get that cleared up because I don't sleep at night over that number. Is it the adjusted gross income? Is it the gross income? Or is it somebody else's income?
So here's another place where the gold standard of what we would have liked to see happen is you're going to print out this application before you just pull the trigger and knee-jerk fill it out. You're going to pull all of your documents and keep a folder. What are your prior year tax returns? What do your financial documents look like? What is your, accounting and payroll, your internal bookkeeping? And then you're going to work ideally with your accountant to make sure that you've got all of your numbers correct. And so this is what we would have liked to see happen, and I don't think that it's what actually happened.
Right.
Here, we're a big proponent of having the right person for the right job. We are not accountants. We don't claim to be. We're attorneys. You hire us for legal analysis, not your business analysis. And so here, what you want to be doing is, working with the appropriate people to answer these questions generally. And I don't think that it's so cost prohibitive as a result of what's happening right now, I have seen a lot of accountants and different financial advising companies offering services as low as free just to help people through the times right now and to build relationships. So I really think that what needs to happen is more of a mindset. If you are not an expert in something and you don't know exactly how to proceed, call someone who is to help you to do it right.
It is. It's about the relationships you've built. And so we talk about this whole time. If you have an accountant or you have an attorney that you have a relationship with, reach out to them. I know my accountant sends us stuff every couple days. And then, of course, I emailed him. He said, I sent you a link. Well, I didn't understand the link when you sent it. I didn't know that was the link I had to do. The other thing that we found out was the stimulus checks. If you paid back, if you got money back on your tax return, there was a record of where the money was going to be direct deposited in for now. If you owed taxes, if you're a 1099 employee and you have to pay taxes, there's no direct deposit stimulus money coming back to you because you have to fill out another link to say, this is where I'm at, this is what I do, this is my bank and routing number. Otherwise, it's almost like you don't exist if you pay them. It's almost a backward system.
Yeah,
you
but
pay the government.
there's a third one that sometimes you make a payment plan to pay back those taxes. They do have your bank account in another part of the building, and the part sending out the stimulus does not talk to that part of the building.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you don't get it, even though you're entitled to it, even though you're paying back on a plan,
Correct.
is what I was told. I don't know if it's real. I don't know what the hell that's going on.
What do you think about this?
At this point, we're hearing different things. We're hearing folks who said that the IRS should have had their direct deposit information and they still didn't receive it. I think there's a lot of usage of that form that they've got on the website where you can see the status of the stimulus check and whether or not you're going to receive it. But unfortunately, no, there's not a lot of guidance with regard to what's happening if you're one of those people who should have received this and haven't received it.
And what are some topics that corp law can help people with?
Well, I want to touch base on a very important one.
Yeah.
Because there are people who they can't pay the rent, their car payments, all sorts of problems are going on right now. And I want to ask you, are we going to take a break?
You can ask her and then we'll take one.
I wanted to ask, there are people who say that have told me that they cannot get evicted because there's a non-eviction something hold in going on right now.
Moratorium?
Yes. And then I heard that landlords are telling people to apply for these loans to pay your rent or I'm going to throw you out on the street. So what's the real deal here?
Freddie, this is huge, and it also answers Dawn's question about how can we help. First, let's talk generally about the moratorium, okay? Because it's applying. There's a couple of different moratoriums, and that's a big word, but it just means like a temporary prohibition, a stop, a pause, if it were. At the federal level, the CARES Act allowed for a hold moratorium on evicting sort of federal housing and then foreclosing on federally secured mortgages. Okay, so there is a hold there. And then we see it at the state level with Governor DeSantis' order that was issued. At this point, the days are blending all together. Here, we've got a moratorium with regard to foreclosing on mortgages for residential and commercial leases. And then we've got the same thing in terms of eviction for residential leases, but not evictions for commercial leases. And just so that I'm very clear, a residential lease would be where you live in terms of your personal housing, and a commercial lease would be a business-related type of lease. And then there's another layer to this, which is the county layer. And we've got most sheriff offices notified that they should not be issuing writs of possession. And the goal is not to get into the legal weeds here, but that's sort of the final document to close out on an eviction. So actual evictions in terms of the final document that needs to get posted are not going through, but the question overall, which is should I pay my rent, is a more difficult question to answer. Because if we look at what the law says generally, right, you've got a contract, you've got a lease agreement. So if the question is should I, for lawyers, words matter. Should means, must. Do I have to? Under your contract, the answer is yes. But I think the other question is, if I cannot afford it, what do I do? Ultimately, it doesn't look like in the next 45 or 60 days, let's say you don't pay and you're in, let's say, a residential lease. It doesn't look like anybody's going to be kicking you out on the street. But what happens in terms of paying overall? And that's being answered in a lot of different ways. But did I answer your question there, Freddie?
Unfortunately, yes.
And the commercial lease is a whole nother animal.
So let me ask you, if I move into my place here, give up my residence, they can keep that, and move into my place, because this is the place I'm going to make money, the other place is where I live. This becomes vital to my survival, as opposed to where I live. I mean, think about
It's
this.
a good thing I paid the rent yesterday.
It's a good thing. Now I'm going to bring my pajamas because...
But now you know why I paid the rent.
No, but I understand because you're obligated to. I called my car dealership yesterday. My car. I've had Mercedes now for 15, 16 years. I have a relationship with the same people. I buy it from the same place. I lease it from the same place. And they came on the phone and said, Mrs. Santori, we love you, but we can't help you. I said, okay, I'm leaving the car outside my house. Come get it. I'll empty it out. You can have it. And then we'll go to court. And I'll see you in about 7 years because I'm going to tell you, I can't give you what I don't got. And this went back and forth and back and forth. And they gave me a 3-month stay. In other words, I don't have to pay for 3 months, right? But at the end of my lease, when I walk away without a car, I give you back the keys, I now have 3 months payments due.
Yep.
Without the car. So the guy said to me, his name is Anthony. Anthony, I want to thank you very much. Very patiently, Mrs. Santori, I want to go through this. He went through it 5 times. Do you understand that at the end of 3 months, he gave me the exact figure, this is what you got to give us. So what I'm going to do is in 3 months, when I make my first payment, I divided the number of months I have left on my lease by 28, and I'm going to put up $101 extra in my payment, so when I go at the end of this thing, I'm free and clear, because it will bust you up at the end of 3 months, and they say, and it has to be paid all at once. You can't finance it, nothing. Do you understand? And they went through and then the manager came on, do you understand? So for the first time, I gotta admit, Mercedes was clear on the message, and I applaud that, okay, because they're giving me a fighting chance. Now it's on me. If I mess up, it's on me. So
Taking
yes, she answered it.
accountability.
Yes, but living, where I live, I'm sorry, and I don't want to rat people out, but it's not right what they're doing there.
Well,
because
let's
we
go to
still have
commercial
pay.
break. When we come back, we can talk to Kristen about that too. HOAs and different fees that people are still charging under all these circumstances. So let's take a quick break. Kristen, stay with us. We're going to put your phone number up as well. We're going to take a break, and we will see you on the other side. If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
Sexy, seductive, and beautiful. Looking for a professional and talented photographer? Danielle Boujon specializes in capturing flirtatious and tasteful images for yourself or your partner. Located in South Florida, Danielle really knows how to bring out your inner beauty on a shoot. Visit her website at www.daniellebuljan.com or call her at 561-305-2241 to capture your most desirable moments.
Sometimes you need to shake things up a bit, to be a little adventurous, to make your meals pop. Don Pablo Coffee Growers and Roasters has that special ingredient, that little bit of adventure in a bottle to take your dinner to the next level. So take a leap and try one of Don Pablo's fresh roasted specialty coffee meat rubs on your beef, chicken, or pork. You'll never go back to boring again. Go ahead, rub it on your meat.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. And I'm fired up.
And
I'm
we are
fired
back
up.
at the Brooklyn Cafe Show on a wonderful Wednesday. If you have any questions, please give us a call. Our phone lines are open. They are literally open. 888-994-4995. Let us know if you have any questions for Kristen Corpian.
Oh, they're literally open.
They're literally
I
open.
forgot Teddy's here.
It's not about you and me running over there, putting a mic next to the phone or all these things. You know what I saw? You know, everyone's doing all their broadcasting from home. And I saw someone was doing an interview on their computer, and he literally had his mic, an extra mic, next to the speaker on the computer, just like we have to do. So just when you think we're doing things differently than everybody else, technology is technology, and that's how they were getting their sound. He had his mic, his external mic, sitting on top of his laptop to bring the sound into the feed. It was kind of, I thought it was a little chuckling because we have to do the same thing.
The funniest thing is watching the weather people at home, because they put up a green screen and they don't have a monitor. They're looking at the opposite. So it's the opposite. So when you go like this, on the screen you're pointing in the other direction. So it takes some getting used to. So a lady says, I can't do this, and
But
she
they've
ran off
got
the set.
cameras there. It seems they've got
Same thing,
teleprompters.
cams. No, they got nothing like that. They make you think so, but they're winging it like everybody
Just
else.
like our teleprompter right there.
That's right. And this portion of the show is brought to you by our friends at Gubba. We're going to do the Gubba Rum people, because we'll do this one under 12. Gubba Rum people, because I wanted to say our friends at Gubba want you to be your entertainment at evening. Have a little concerts. We have concerts coming your way with a glass of our Gubba Rum, and we have a little fun.
With our partnership with Gubba Rum, we're going to be getting our rum. What are we getting? 6 bottles?
6 bottles to begin
3
with.
vanilla and 3 coconut. We have a partnership now with Gubba Rum. They call it Wicked Smooth. It is craft artisanal rum, which sounds ever so sexy, but you know what? It tastes delicious. You can find it locally. You can also let us know, and we'll be more than happy to get you a case delivered to your home with an extra promotional bottle. Sponsored by the Brooklyn Cafe Show. So a lot of things.
866-224-5422. If you want to help me sell some of the rum for commission, give me a call, and we will hook you up. It's 866-224-5422.
That might be good for, you know, some of the millennials that are looking.
What do you think we have in the meeting today?
At 10:30, we've got Teddy Unscripted coming to you. I don't know what she's talking
She
about
is
today,
really
but we're gonna
unscripted,
find
because
out.
she says, I don't know. I have an idea, though. I got a parachute for her.
And we've got In the Buzz with B at 11 o'clock, and she's going to be talking about what it's like being in college, finishing college, looking for jobs, having to give up your job as servers and hostesses in the restaurants and bartenders because all of that industry has shut down. This is what they were relying on to help pay for college, for extra income. Even if you were on student loans, this was your extra income. She's going to be talking about that today at 11.
Yep, and then we have also Fuego on another channel going on at 11:30. And God only knows what DJ Ortiz has cooking.
And we've got Kristen Corpian with Corp Law joining us on the other side. Well, we're going to bring her over.
Is she on
And
the
your
other side?
question for her was?
The question is really simple. What do you do when people are threatening you and I mean, you're going to say you got to negotiate. I know that's the first line of defense. But what do you do when you can't? Or you ever have somebody in the family who's a real hothead? And they're the ones they send in to negotiate the deal.
I think she's Hispanic, so she'd probably say yeah.
¿Tú eres Latina?
See, Puerto Rican and Italian.
Oh my God, you're
Just
the
like
same
you.
mixture of me. You have
I'm
that
the
cousin.
hothead.
You got that cousin Vinny. Hey Vincenzo, and he decides to call the landlord. Forget about it. It's all over. It's all over because he's screaming. The landlord is screaming. Nobody's listening. So you got these issues. If you can't rectify, should you bring in a third party to help negotiate deals?
Absolutely. So you again hit the nail on the head, Freddie, with the first step is pull the document that matters, right? So if it's your mortgage, actually find a copy of it. If it's your lease, again, find a copy of it or request a copy of it from your landlord, because that's going to be a seminal document that you need to understand if you're going to negotiate. And if you do hire a third party to help you negotiate, like a lawyer, they're going to want that document because we need the primary source. So the first step is negotiate yourself. Call your landlord and see what they can do to help you during this time, what they're offering. There is a lot of training that goes into how to negotiate successfully. It is an art form, but an important thing to know is when you go into a negotiation, what do you want? What is it that you're requesting? You know, I was talking about this recently with someone who I am helping to negotiate their residential lease. And I told her, if I'm speaking with the corporate department for this apartment complex, and they agree to putting off your rent for 3 months. Let's say the rent is $1,500. When the rent comes due 3 months from now, are you going to be able to afford that larger payment? And if the answer is no, then, to the extent you're negotiating to receive something that you're not going to be able to afford, then it's just a different conversation that we need to have. But if the one-on-one personal negotiation is just not going well for you, then yes, absolutely. That's the place where you want to call, ideally a law firm, to help you step in, explain your rights, look at the contracts that are involved, and walk you through what the best options are. We are trying to approach these from a standpoint that is very reasonable. Because look, the landlord, they've got a struggle too, right? To the extent they've got a mortgage, they don't want a bank foreclosing on the property. And so they've got very real concerns right now as well. And the best way we've seen these play out in a perfect world is that both sides are understanding of the issues and of the demands that both sides are experiencing. And they come to a solution ideally that works out for both parties.
We keep talking about trickle down. That's the trickle up. You can't afford corporate, you can't afford your business lease, and you negotiate with your landlord, and they're cool about it. But if in fact they have a mortgage, which I didn't even think about what the landlord's responsibility is, the bank wants their money. So if you're not paying your landlord's not paying their bank and their mortgage, and theoretically the bank could foreclose on an entire property, which is not just encompassing you.
But Christian, hold on a second. I get mad because I said weeks ago, the problem doesn't start with the tenant. The problem starts with the institution that the banks have to answer to. The banks got to say, don't worry about it. Everybody freeze. Everything stops. No payment for 30 days. From the top to the top to the top. Because if not, then the landlords are going to be under pressure. What landlord is going to be able to afford to pay when they're living when I was a landlord, it was paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much you collect. But the problem I'm having here is, if everybody stop for a second, even the banks, the ones that control the game of the banks, they got to be the ones to say, listen, let's give it a 30-day freeze and see what happens. The other thing I want to ask you, Christian, is that when somebody gives you time off, 30 days, it doesn't mean you don't owe those 30 days.
Right.
You're going to owe it somewhere along the way. And whether they're going to be nice and say, okay, put it at the end, put it in the middle, stretch it out over months, which probably is the best case if you can get it, which I doubt you're going to get. They're going to want 2 months payment the following month. So you're right. I applaud what you did yesterday. I applaud it. Because if you don't want trouble, don't ask for it.
And for me, for my peace of mind, and this is just my personality, the stress of knowing that in 3 months I'm going to have to come up with this balloon payment. If in fact, and our landlord was great, he worked with us. We paid half in the beginning of the month. He said, let me know how you're doing in the middle of the month. We paid the other half. If I had not had that negotiation with him and the conversation, that conversation stressed me out and gave me a pit in my stomach. He was fantastic.
But you were right. I was wrong.
And in 3 months, we're going to owe 3 months worth of that. And you know what? Those 3 months, it would make me so ill holding that. I wouldn't even tell you because you've got your own issues on the other side.
Yeah, but we wouldn't make it.
So I felt like if we had it right now, as it's trickling in, I need to trickle it back out. I think it's only fair to everybody else. And my peace of mind, I needed to do that for me as well. That's a whole nother part to it.
Absolutely. It's two different buckets, if it's on the side that you've got a mortgage and you're trying to figure this out, you need to answer the question, is it federally backed? Because then you're going to have the benefit of what's outlined in the CARES Act. If not, and either way, what we want to see happen is that 3 month or, X refinance period, forbearance period where you wouldn't have to pay. And then ideally for, a longer term loan for a mortgage, we would tack what you owe rather than having it paid, immediately after those 3 months hit on the back end of it. and modify the loan. So that's if you're in the bucket of being a landlord. That would be the ideal scenario there. If you're on the standpoint of, you've got a lease, that's a little bit more difficult, because what if your, residential or commercial lease was scheduled to end in, let's say, 2 months or 3 months? Obviously, you don't want to renew if you don't have the money to do so. And so how are we going to work that out? And we've seen some creative solutions like the one you mentioned, Dawn, or we've seen even still signing an additional agreement in the form of a promissory note, where you might agree, let's say, to pay what you owe $100 a month over a 5-year period. So we're seeing a lot of creativity here, and that's where it's just a matter of how willing both sides are to come to some kind of deal that can work for everyone.
Yeah, my concern is, and as you're talking, I'm thinking about it, because we're riddled with hurricanes here. The last hurricane we had that they gave, again, some time, and you could have gotten 3 months. I don't know if it was Maria, but it probably was. You could call your mortgage company and say, I've been affected by Hurricane Maria, can you give me 3 months? And they did. So now I've been affected by COVID, can I have 3 months? And they do. So now, at the end of whatever lease and mortgage term you've got, you now have a 6-month balloon at the end of this.
Which
and
is
if you're
gonna
talking
bust you
mortgage
out.
of $3,000
Yeah.
a month times 6, or whatever it is, mortgage maybe not, because maybe when you sell your home, right, you're hoping to get that money back and it pays the bank
Sell it
off.
to who?
But this is a whole nother level, and we talked about this with Ian, is when you have these grants and these loans from another catastrophe, all you're more now doing is piling up debt, and in my mind, stress as well as debt. There's the legal side and there's the ethical side, and a lot of these aren't always the same.
Yeah, and then there's the real side. And forget about all that. Now, Kristen, the other thing is,
And make sure we give out her info too.
we're gonna get out. We'll keep going if we have to keep going. The other side of this thing is that you ever notice in the house, you've been cooped up with your significant other, your wife, your dog, your kids.
Who's maybe not your significant other anymore by now. No, I'm kidding.
So what happens is you get into this brawl about the pressures, because now we're getting towards the end of the month, and all of a sudden, if you think that people were panicking at the beginning of the month, you're going to see a volcano at the end of a month. So my logical thinking here, Christian,
Right.
is that you get a third person like yourself, that you can both negotiate without killing each other through a third person. You get to know what the people are, and then maybe get involved on some of these matters and negotiate for them, because it's running hot and heavy right now. If you look at the marches and the protests and everything else, what you're seeing is people becoming volcanic. They can't stay home anymore because all they're doing is fighting with Mr. or Mrs. Who, or the dog, or the bird got eaten, because they can't take the pressure. So we have to put a pressure valve on the situation. So you get in touch with Christian, and you sit with them, and you work a deal out so that at least you have a pressure release. It doesn't mean she's going to resolve the problem, but she's going to give you a fighting chance to have somebody negotiate for you if you're under the collar, if you're under pressure, if you're fighting your significant other or your wife or your kid, whatever, and you can't do it. So I think we're getting into a phase right now where your skill sets are going to be needed more than ever. And we've been doing this all week. We've been talking to people about, to take away stress and everything else. All week we've been doing it. All week. This is another flavor, another layer of what you're going to need, because it's going to get harder. A 3-month hit is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do when you're faced with that monster? If you don't negotiate a good deal and you negotiate a bad deal, you're going to make some mistakes, is what I'm saying.
So contact Kristen at Corp Law. What's your phone number, Kristen?
1-833-545-7526.
And you are so lovely. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hold on, what's the number? I didn't hear it. What's the number?
Sure. It is 1-833-545-7526. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
I'm going to tell you something, Christian. I'm going to be saying your phone number on the 12 o'clock show as well, maybe for the rest of the week. I want you to take this number and put it on your refrigerator, and that's the reason why. Because what's going to end up happening here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm a little old in this game, and I've seen my fair share of this stuff. I see it destroy families. I'm going to give out the number for you to call, have a consultation, give her a call. Doesn't mean you have to use it today, But hopefully you never have to use it. But it's better to have a parachute when you jump out of a plane than to try to land on your feet without one. And I'm telling you, I am begging you, it is going to get harder. Not impossible. It's going to get harder. And you're going to get more stress if you don't follow the rules, if you don't do it the right way. You give Christian a call, let her negotiate for you. I know you're looking at me.
No, I'm actually looking at you because that's actually a glimmer of hope I see.
It is a
coming from
glimmer
you.
of hope. She's a glimmer of hope.
I know,
The
she's
people
amazing.
we've had on all week have been a glimmer of hope. But you got to listen. You got to pay attention. And do me a favor. You're watching this show, send it to somebody who you know is struggling. And it may be that, crazy Uncle Vinny in the corner. And let him see that you can't take this on by yourself.
And
This
then
is
the Puerto
too big.
Rican Italian joining your forces.
That's right.
now.
Mi gente, I'm also going to have Fuego. I'm going to talk to DJ Ortiz to put your number out there as well. Because the bottom line here is English or Spanish, Greek or Russian, whatever, we are all people.
We're all in this together.
And we're all in this together. So you know what? Take that number, put it in your fridge, give her a call, find out what kind she can do for you.
Kristen, thank you so much for joining us. More to
Thank
come. I'm
you.
looking forward to putting out some promotional pieces with you as well.
Thank you so much.
Have a beautiful
you,
day.
Kristen.
Stay safe.
You too.
I love it.
She's
You know,
fantastic.
something? It's like the time we spoke to Ian, and he said, Freddie, there's a parachute. And before I knew it,
Parachute
it
was
was
down.
gone. The parachute was gone, so they're going to come out. They are talking about a fourth phase now. Did you hear the next one? It's a fourth phase coming out for more money. Okay? They know they're going to have to pour money into the country. They know what the problem is. They're just trying to save lives. Now they're giving it to the governors. In my opinion, DeSantis is doing a bang-up job because I wouldn't want his job if he paid me $1 billion. I just wouldn't want it. I couldn't sleep at night.
At the end of the day, the most important thing is to save lives. And whether it's lives from this disease, from the stress, from increased suicide, from domestic violence, all of these things are on the rise. And what we need to do is we need to get some money back into people's pockets. We need to get people out of the house so they can get out of the situations that do not serve them. And you know what? Keep going forward. And I'm really excited. I'm going to reach out to a old-time friend of ours. She just had an article published in Forbes magazine. And I want to reach out to
Who's
her, Elena Bensonoff.
Oh, really?
Over in Tampa. Reach out to her because
Beautiful.
we met her many, many years ago. Our network is bigger than you realize. It's amazing when you see your network and all the years we've done this. I just love watching people grow. So I'm going to reach out to her and Lady N, see how she's doing.
And anybody who's been interviewed on the Brooklyn Cafe in the last 5 years, I want you to give us a holler. We want to bring you back.
Yeah.
I want to talk to elites. I think, ladies and gentlemen, I'm making an announcement. I think I'm going to write a book.
In your
I think
spare time.
I think it's, I could do it at 2 o'clock in the
Why do
morning.
I have a feeling it's going to be a Teddy? Can you help me? Poor Teddy.
No. I want Elite.
gonna change her
Elite
name.
is going to help me write this book.
Okay.
But I will have to change the name to Protect the Innocent. All I got to say.
Have a great day, everyone. Please contact Kristen Corpian, Corp Law, C-O-R-P Law. They're located in Miami on Brickell Avenue. We'll keep the number posted for you. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Stay tuned. 10:30 is Teddy Unscripted. 11 o'clock is In the Buzz with B, and 11:30 is Fuego, followed by the Brooklyn Cafe Show. 12 o'clock, we've got Fem City joining us, and the Addison Restaurant also actually speaking with Ann. So a full day, and we will see you in the later. Have a great morning.
833-545-7526. Give Kristen a call. And like always, God bless and don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.